always weird. So, yeah, we'll see.
All right, here are some other stories. This was interesting. When I first saw this, I was like, well, that's good. They're going to give this guy a chance to be a full-time coach next year. And I'm like, wait a minute. Colorado's problem has been on defense. Colorado's problem has been in the offensive line. But Pat Shurmur, former NFL coach, famous name in the NFL history, will take over play calling duties for offensive coordinator Sean Lewis against Oregon State. Sanders must elevate Shurmur from analyst to full-time coach to be eligible, and so somebody else will then have to no longer be a part of that staff. When I first saw this, I just thought, okay, their season, obviously, this is a demotion, correct? Or is it? Is it a demotion?
I don't know. Like
Sean Lewis is a hot commodity, you would think. If he was like to leave today, I think somebody would hire him if there was job opening.
Yeah, I think for sure they would. And I wonder, not having watched Colorado as much the last month since the speed's been off the bullet train a little bit with that one. I did watch a good part of the UCLA game, and was it Sean Lewis's fault that the offensive line can't block? I mean, he's the offensive coordinator, so it all falls on him. I guess that there's some of that there, and maybe they just need a change to figure things out. And maybe also Pat Shurmur is going to wind up having that job next year since Sean Lewis might leave anyway and try to ride that wave. But early in the season, he was a genius, and now he's still signaling in plays. So maybe kind of a strange thing. I'm curious to hear Deion's explanation for it. And so we will, but that is kind of strange that in the middle of the season for what the problem is not really the offense overall. It's the offensive line, that's for sure. But, if you're the offensive coordinator, I guess you take the fall for all.
Well, this looks like a demotion to me.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of split a little bit on the chatter around this story. Craig, your thoughts? Sean Lewis has had, I thought, a pretty damn good year.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell because their offense has been so erratic at times. I mean, Shedeur has had some great moments, and the passing game has, but the run game, I mean, we talked about that earlier in the year that they had to get something going there, and that's been non-existent. The line can't block for Shedeur. It is a situation where it kind of depends on what party you want to listen to, because there's the Deion supporters that no matter what, it was, the right decision, and that y'all weren't watching, the offense sucks, and Sean Lewis is the reason why. And, the only good part is Shedeur and Travis Hunter. The same, other observers would say, Shadeur's good and Travis Hunter's good, but you can't base your offense around just getting the ball to two guys all the time. You know what I mean? And, this isn't Deion's fault, or that's the, so it's really hard to kind of tell. But yeah, the offense has not been very well rounded, whatever you want to point that to. Deion this week, right, was calling out his offensive line, and then caught some flack for basically saying how he was going to get rid of him and get new guys in there. And so then he kind of, I think, backed off that a little bit. And now this news drops. So, something had to give, I guess. And I don't really know what to point to. Yeah, I would think that he's going to be a very attractive candidate for another program to bring in. I don't know if this is, how did you phrase it? A
demotion?
Demotion, yeah. I mean, it does certainly come across that way, but I think some of the details are still foggy, because there is in that same tweet talking about him still making the play calls, is there not? So, it's something where we do need to hear Deion's side of the story.
Put that back up, Garrett, as Craig is talking. Go ahead, Craig.
Something where we do need to hear Deion's side of the story, just to hear what the explanation is, and then we can kind of sort through that based on what he says. But, yeah, I mean, I think Sean Lewis is going to be just fine. I don't think he's the reason why Colorado is struggling. And, at the same time, there are struggles going on, and it's not going to be Deion that's going to take the full blame for it. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's very strange, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from Deion exactly where this decision came from.
Lewis will still signal the plays in, but it's Shurmur who will take over the play calling duties.
Okay, so
not only you have somebody coming in to take your job, you're going to have to signal in his decisions.
Well, I got confused by the wording there. Yeah. So I mean, and Pat Shurmur's not somebody that really inspires a whole lot of excitement for, I think, Colorado fans, or for those on the outside looking in. So strange. I saw even one suggestion was, is this to allow Sean Lewis to go ahead and start doing coaching interviews? And I'm like, I don't think that's a move you pull right now, and the way that you're pulling it. So, yeah, some stuff to unpack here, and a strange decision for sure.
A couple other notes. Big